Hello people, with this power here to review the RKF Kamen 01 HybridRise figure. Yeah, so obviously unlike Geo, instead of making an entire gimmick line, they just put the gimmick within one huge set. So this set includes 01 Rising Hopper with armor pieces for 01 Flying Falcon, Biting Shark, Flaming Tiger, and Freezing Bear, as they're all pictured there. So the top of the box still retains the RKF portraits of the helmets, which is really nice. Rider Kick's figure. Bottom, so there's Flaming Tiger, Biting Shark, Freezing Bear on the right. Then Rising Hopper, Flying Falcon on the left. And then the back are technically the instructions, just telling you where each piece goes in the body, and then telling you to make your own, which we will do all of this. So let's get straight to it. So here we have the figure for 01 Rising Hopper, but before we actually get into this figure, let's actually take a look at the backdrop that the trays behind, which is actually really neat. You can probably scan this in a printer and make it a background of some kind. It's just really thin cardboard, which is interesting for these. They've never done this in a while because they stopped doing this. So that's neat to have. I don't have any, but I think BCRs did it. So here we have 01 Rising Hopper. He's really, obviously he's different from the initial 01 release. I don't have it because Zarkin despises it. He just doesn't like the likes. But he doesn't have as much paint as that one would, obviously, because this one's gimmick is different, or this one has a gimmick in general, to which his arms aren't, or his shoulder pads aren't painted. Only his arms on here are painted, and the center of the 01 driver is painted. That's literally his only paint. Because then for this portion, so you get the Rising Hopper face, which looks off somewhat. And then there's the chest with the black outlined pieces and such. And then here are the legs, which is just, they really stand out a lot. Like you can just tell it's just armor pieces. So comparing 01 is my only other 01 figure, Shining Assault Hopper, to which, yeah, very different. So, articulation, it retains, so 360 head rotation, arm swivel, ball joint, shoulder, his arm can reach all the way, he can bend his arm and swivel it. Hand rotation, it's tight. You gotta be careful with the legs, obviously, because the armor, so you can kick forward. He can't kick to the side with the armor. He can bend, and he can do a ball joint. So, okay, now I think about this, because it is an RKF figure, can you do a rider kick with the armor? Somewhat, it doesn't look right, because he really can't. It's like a somewhat, but yeah. So okay, speaking of armor now. Oh, okay, I forgot this part. Upper waist articulation, or rotation. So yeah, obviously the huge gimmick of this is that you can take off the armor and, you know, switch it around and falls apart. So, okay, because we're already at it, obviously you simply just peg the legs off like so, and then you get these bare legs, and then move the chest like so, move the head, and yeah, so this is your base figure for 01. It's close to what it is, except he doesn't have any details on the chest, and his head obviously doesn't have a face. So, with that aside, so trying to keep these together, because these are not labeled at all. So you just have to know which places they go. So this is the armor for Ryzen Hopper. So there's his legs, there's his chest, which, you know, is pretty interesting. Obviously, this is the tab it plugs in by, and then this is the helmet, or the face, or mask, whatever you call it, but yeah, this just clips via friction, so the clips for these are weird because they're like shaped, curved, and such, so they just work really oddly, and they don't want to focus because of the neon yellow. So let's just bring in the next set, or the first set of armor we're going to change with, because there's going to be a lot of jump cuts. So here we are with this first form to show up, even though it's the second one for some reason. Flying Falcon. So as you can see here, here's his head. If it wants to focus, it doesn't want to focus. So there's that. You can tell all the yellow on these pieces are painted because all of these are just cast in black plastic. Or this headpiece is. Here's the chest of Falcon. So this yellow was painted because it's way different from this yellow. And here are the leg pieces. So let's get to that. So you peg the legs within these tabs like so. Just like that. Make sure they actually want to stay, because then you get pieces like this. So this piece is just really stubborn as a whole. So it might, like, it's getting a bit easier, but it's just really unlikely when it wants to stay. And the thing I don't really like about, because obviously, like, I don't want to have a gap when I, lift him up, but then, like, if you do that, then he's just looking down and it looks odd. Again, just tab this and like so. And then just slide this within the face. So you hear that. Now you got 01 Flying Falcon. He's fine. It's just that this is gonna be common through these forms, is that they're kind of gonna be lackluster, just because they're supposed to have yellow. Well, obviously yellow is supposed to be more vibrant through these, but because the lack of paint and it's just black, the legs feel really bare. So what I like doing, even though it's inaccurate, is just to add the Ryzen Hopper pieces that are absent, so then it looks somewhat more fuller. But articulation is still the same. It's just now you can't do that. So, and obviously you don't have any like hands to make him look like he's flying, and obviously because they didn't bother giving you pieces for the shoulder pads, so these don't move along and it looks kind of weird as a whole. So So now here's the armor set for Biting Shark. So here's the head. All the heads are just black plastic, so everything is painted closely to the plastic. These are the shin parts, the shin armor parts for the form. This is the chest piece, which works the same. And this is going to be unique for the next one, but some of the parts are going to be cast, or some of the parts are the same plastic as this, because these are essentially coming out of like 01, like the parts of 01 Rising Hopper. So I like that. And obviously you still have the Rising Hopper face split, so that's interesting. So let's put this one together, which yeah, in this one we just have to put these in the shin. Like so. These ones work way better than Flying Falcon. Flying Falcon just... there. Put that in like so. Okay, so with these parts, this works similar to Soul Shaku Henshin. I want to say the Kabuto line, where there will be like a shape there, and you just simply peg it like so. With Biting Shark, make sure you are putting them in the correct way. You want to make sure the fins are pointing down and not have the other way. You don't want them facing out, you want them facing back. Then slide the helmet in, which is kind of difficult with Biting Shark because of the Rising Hopper fins or antennas. Yeah. So here is 01 Biting Shark, which I'll see looks a lot better than Flying Falcon just because you have the arms filled. I honestly think it looks a lot better when you don't have armor on the shins or on the thighs and have them on like the lower leg, because it just looks a lot better. You kind of do lose head articulation just a bit. You can't look down as much because of these shark fins. However, I do feel like this chest piece is one of the weakest. Again, because it requires shoulder pads and you know, it just looks kind of off. But I do think this is one of the strongest ones, simply just because of how, I guess, how more like combust it feels. Again, it still lacks paint here, so fill that in like so, and it just looks so much better. So here are the pieces for Flaming Tiger, and now one thing that you can notice is that he actually comes with a red pair of fists, which is pretty interesting, and I do think that this is actually helpful with the RKF line now. Now you can actually distinguish their hands, so that's pretty neat. And we got the get them. We got the Rising Hopper face, which is pretty interesting. I don't remember which orientation it's at now. I'm pretty sure it's like this. Here are the thigh pieces for Flaming Tiger. They're honestly as generic as Flying Falcon. Chest piece for Flaming Tiger. I do like the black. and the helmet for Flaming Tiger, which I do think is pretty neat. I think it's probably the second best one after Rising Hopper because it doesn't have to incorporate his face because his face are the arms. So let's apply these. See, I think it's this leg in particular that just doesn't like armor pieces in here. But then, one thing too I should have done first is to remove the hands. And insert the fist. Put the chest piece on just because I'm pretty sure it goes like yeah, I'm pretty sure it goes like okay. I finally got it because I don't know why I was blinking on that. The head and there we go. We got 01 Flaming Tiger. I don't think this one is as... It's not as good as Biting Shark. But it definitely, I think, just works a lot better than Flying Falcon. But, I really like how, like, I don't know, the arms and the hands just make it look, like, it makes it stand out. I think it's just kind of off-putting his eyes are blue. But, you know. I feel like, also too, just because of how these figures work, I don't think it does, like, the bulk of this form as well. However, I will actually commend this. I don't know why I caught it now, but I do like how the black, gosh, the black on this shoulder piece actually works. Like, it actually fills it pretty well. So, I like that. Here's your one Flaming Tiger with the shoulder, the shin Rise and Hopper armor pieces because the camera cut off of me because of overheating. Last but not least, we have Freezing Bear, which is for some reason making my back, my thing brown. But just like Flaming Tiger, he comes with his own fist. However, they're still just closed fist, sadly. You get these forearm pieces. You have to... Yeah, they're actually labeled, so L1 and R1, so that's neat. You get the chest piece for Freezing Bear, which just has this little black spot. And you get the helmet itself, which again has the antenna of Rising Hopper. Although, again, it's just painted and such, so let's get this over with. So obviously we're going to put the fist on first. Put the chest in. Put the arm balance in, if I make sure put them in correctly. And then put the helmet on for one last time, and then now we got 01 Freezing Bear, which is just easily the weakest form out of this set. Like, this is just horrible. Like, yes, you can argue with the fact, actually you can argue with this, that like, okay, so obviously they couldn't do translucent blue and such. However, it's just like, I don't know, it's just kind of sad that like, technically, like, this set is like $35 and they couldn't even do anything to like replicate Freezing Bear, and yet a Soto figure that's like, I think that's like 800 altogether, so like $8 can pull off Freezing Bear better. It's just kind of sad. Like, yeah, he looks like, first of all, his legs are like really bare, so you're going to need the rising hopper pieces. But then at that point, it's like you're just making like half of it's just rising hopper then. But it's like, you know, you need that yellow, and like, I think the only good thing about this is literally these shoulder, or these arm parts. They look cool, but then like, I like the helmet too. I think it's just the chest piece that like really ruins it. Like, I don't know. It's just like, I like the pieces for Freezing Bear, but it's just like, it doesn't do a good job at replicating how the form should be, especially with the chest piece, because like, you know, it's obviously the same as Rising Hopper because this is supposed to be underneath, but then it doesn't do that. And if I don't know, it looks too slim is the issue, or that's my issue. It just doesn't look too slim, especially this one's supposed to be like the one that he like has broad shoulders and like looks like he can't move. So it's just weird to see him in a way that you can move him, and I don't know. I'm probably misremembering something, but like, I don't remember his antennas being this vibrant. Let me see the suit again. This is because really, I swear that I don't remember him. I don't know. I thought he had a similar thing to like Biting Shark, but as you can see, like, I feel like the blue is just really off by a lot. But you can't see it because it's just bad lighting. But yeah, like, yeah, because even though I've been like picking on Flying Falcon is at least like a passable, but Freezing Bear is just so bad. So going from that, obviously, let's play around with the HybridRise figure, which I'll jump cut to right now. So this is my poor excuse of a HybridRise, because it's literally just the example, but like switching a few things out. But I don't know, like, I just picked my, well, for these two I picked my favorite parts. I wanted the shark fins, but then I wanted a representation of each color, but I can't really have that. Uh, and like I had to pick these ones just because they're because when you think about it, you don't actually have a lot of options. Like yeah, you can switch them around. Like you can put this piece here and then this here. Like you can have it like this and such. But honestly, I kind of prefer not to use any of these pieces because like my huge issue with the Ryzen Hopper pieces is that they're too big. And then obviously when you turn them around and such, it's like, oh yeah, they're obviously just armor pieces. But then like when you do that with the other pieces, like it actually looks seamless and such. So that's why I just prefer like the other pieces. And like I just think this looks pretty cool overall. Yeah, I probably could have changed the hands, but then again, that doesn't make things equal. Because then if I made them red, then that means Flaming Tiger has more representation than like all the other ones, because all the other ones are shared. Because technically up here is like Rising Hopper, Flying Falcon, Freezing Bear, Flaming Tiger, and Biting Shark. So yeah, that's my HybridRise figure. So this is gonna come off. So I guess I'm gonna have to make this somewhat different from other RKFs, just because I can't display it like this. But the thumbnail is not gonna be like this because, you know, stuff. But overall, what I think about this figure is that it's not bad. I just don't think its price is worth it. I thought I was gonna have a lot of issues with like dealing with the loose parts and like parts falling off and such, but I think that's just probably some people's, which if that's the case, you have a right to complain. For me, I only have that issue with Flying Falcon, but I don't know, like I feel like you're probably better off with the Soto figures because those have way more paint and like look way more accurate than this $35 set. Now, like obviously I don't have a right to say this because I got this pre-owned for like $15. So while I should be like, it's it's incredibly worth it for that price. And because I have no motivation of getting any solo figures unless it's Tsukiyomi, then I think this is fun. Like, because I think, because it's just like, if you want like a 0-1 figure, just go for that. But if you want one to like have some fun with like, you know, being creative like this, then go pick the setup. But do not buy this for its full price. It's not worth it for that. Get it for a pre-owned price. I guess be wary of that, because it's Monterake. But I, I think it's, I think it's just interesting that they did this separate from like, uh, from the entire line, because I think that's just kind of better than just sacrificing the main 0-1 figure for this gimmick. But again, it's not required because you know you don't really. It's not like there's. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. It's not like they're gonna add on to more of this. I think that's why they only made the one figure. But I guess if you want a representation of all the 0-1's forms within the RKF line, then you probably have to pick this figure up. You're just stuck with another Ryzen Hopper. So I really don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm kind of rushing myself because the battery's gonna die. So this is PowerRider, and I'll leave people. Bye.